Welcome back to Shanghai Live. This year is the 50th anniversary of Sino-French relations, and the two countries have a long history of educational links going back to the early 20th century. And now an increasing number of Chinese universities are working with French schools on joint educational programs. Marc Mezard, director of Ecole Normale Superieure, was in town earlier, and my colleague Aixinjueluo Bei talked to him about a program run by his school and East China Normal University and the future of cooperative educational projects between the two countries.
Well, this year marks the 50th anniversary of Sino-French relations, and also the 10th anniversary of ENU's cooperation with East China Normal University in educating graduate students. Both governments paid a lot of attention to this project. So looking back, what are some of the major achievements for the past 10 years in the various fields?
Well, I think this has been a very important program, and if you look back, it is a program that is rooted in maybe in the 19th century. We had already Chinese students visiting Ecole Normale Superieure at that time, and then it grew up in the last 10 years as a fully developed program in which we exchange students. We have had now more than 40 PhD students doing their doctorate in Ecole Normale Superieure in various fields, both in fields of science, biology, physics, but also in social sciences. And I think it has been an extremely successful program.
As you know, more and more Chinese universities are cooperating with Western universities in research and academic exchanges. Compared with North American universities, what's unique about French higher education? What's your advantages and disadvantages?
Well, you know, France is the third destination for foreign students, just after US and UK. Mm-hmm. There are several reasons for that. In Paris, you can have some of the best world institutions, and Ecole Normale Superieure is some of them from all rankings, let's say, and Nobel Prizes and Fields Medals and so on. Also, the size of the institution is something that on Chinese scale is totally microscopic. Mm-hmm. It's a small institution with a bit more than 2,000 students. This way of participating to a community in which there are many exchanges between various disciplines.
Disadvantages?
It's not always very easy to go to another country and learn another language. And it's a bit more complicated actually for the students who are in social sciences or in humanities, because really the language is a key ingredient of their formation.
Okay, then with that said, what are you doing to attract more Chinese students? Are there any special policies made for them?
So first of all, in science we are now having some master degree which are taught in English in several disciplines. We are looking forward to having new development in computer science, mathematics, and also earth studies, which is something that is very important for us. For instance, we have some new projects going on about big data, okay. And I heard that ECNU as a project of a new institute, especially on data science, and I think that this is typical of a new direction that we could really interact a lot together in order to push exchanges and develop this new area of research.
China and France's educational links go back to the early 20th century.
Yes.
Zhou Enlai, Deng Xiaoping are among the Chinese leaders who studied in France, and now currently the number of Chinese students studying in France is just rising rapidly. And this year, I think more than 50,000 French people are learning Chinese. So how does this continuing cross-cultural education affect young people's lives?
Well, I think it's something that you can see now even at the level of high school. High school students in France now, quite a sizable fraction of them take lessons of Chinese. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a signal of a very strong collaboration between the two countries. Now the challenge is to develop these links and to make it much more generalized in the society.
Well, before meeting you today, I had the chance to speak to some Chinese students who are currently studying in France, and they wanted me to ask you, will the education they receive in France satisfy both countries' future needs for employment?
I'm sure they will, because I mean, with the strong economic links which are developing between China and France, you will need to have people who are not only fluent in the two languages, but also fluent in the two cultures. Mm-hmm. People who are able to understand how a company is working, how the meetings are organized, how the social relations inside a company are organized. And this is something that you cannot just learn only at school or even in the best universities, but you have to get there. You have to study in the other place.
What kind of job placement help is available to Chinese students who get a degree in France?
I think the Chinese students who get a degree in France, if they want to go on and take a job in France, they are most welcome to apply to the jobs that the other normaliens, the other students of Ecole Normale will apply to. The most of them are in the academic system, the research and higher education. The French research system is very open to foreigners. For instance, the CNRS, our National Research Center, is hiring a lot of foreign researchers. In physics, my field that I know very well, 2/3 of the people who are hired are foreigners. And so I think this is this creates a lot of opportunities. And beside that, there are also jobs in private companies and also in the higher administration, which are open.